Hello, everyone, and welcome to this educational presentation where today I want to talk to you about a new way to trade candlesticks. And I actually think this is a simpler way to trade candlesticks. For example, let's look at this older chart here. And we start off looking at Algin, okay? Now we're in some type of an uptrend, okay? Just a small, steady uptrend move. And then someone could say, well, there's resistance right here. Maybe we should stop and wait or look to sell and look for some type of reversal candlestick pattern. But with the technique I'll share with you today, it actually generated a buy signal here and then another one here within that uptrend before it took off and potentially could have captured 68 points. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, a new way to trade candlesticks. And you can trade candlesticks this new way on our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform that actually teaches you this unique way to trade candlestick patterns. So welcome, my name is Steven Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. I teamed up with Pro Trader Strategies about 15 years ago with one goal in mind, and that was simply to educate traders around the world. And I'm happy to say now that we have students in over 115 countries and in every state in the United States. Now, I think at some point, everyone has virtually traded candlestick patterns. I know I started trading candlestick patterns back in the 80s when they were first introduced to the Western traders. But I think most people aren't seeing the type of results they want, and it's for a specific reason. And we're going to share with you what that is today and show you this new way to actually trade them and hopefully give you this higher level of consistency once you begin trading candlesticks. Now, before we begin, as always, we're required by law to share this with you. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to share with you a lot of performance results using this new method, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. Also, please remember that all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, if you'd like some more education on a daily basis, a great way to do that is to follow us on Twitter, or call it X, whatever you'd like. There's our handle right there, abbreviation for Specialist Trading, at SPCLSTTRADG. Every day I post different things on there, different snapshots of signals or our strategies have generated, to little bits of financial wisdom. So there's lots of great free education on a daily basis. So please feel free to follow us on Twitter. Now, remember, we are first and foremost an educational company. I see we have a lot of new names in our presentation today, our attendee list, and that's good. We always like to see new people attending our free webinars every Wednesday. I'm sorry we had to wait a day. I'm a little under the weather, so we had to postpone it for one day. But the reason why we really want to share all our information with you and to teach you is because as an educator, our goal is to put the power back in your hands. You see, too many so-called educators say they're educators, but what they really do is they tell you what to buy and what to sell on a daily basis. Well, we don't do that at Specialist Trading. You'll never hear me say what I think the market's going to do, or if you come here today thinking I'm going to tell you what the best stock is to buy or the best market to sell or the best time frame to trade. Those are all things you need to decide. You see, in my 46 years of trading, I've discovered one thing. The only traders that are still trading that have stood the test of time are the ones that make their own trading decisions. They don't go to chat rooms and find out what someone is buying or selling. They don't read blogs to find out what someone likes. They don't wait for earnings reports or employment numbers. They don't listen to the guys on TV. They simply follow a method, and that's what keeps them consistent. And that's the way we want to teach our students around the world. And I'm glad to say we've really helped a lot of students from becoming just mediocre traders to becoming very, very consistent traders. And that's our goal. So as you can see, as an educator, my goal is not to force feed you signals, but to teach you how to trade with the specialist edge. This is the same way I was taught some 46 years ago when I was struggling myself on the floor of the stock exchange, if you could believe that. I was on the trading floor and I was still struggling, but my mentors taught me these same things, and hopefully they'll be able to establish some type of consistency in you as well. Okay, now, before we begin, just a few things. Remember, I want you to ask me as many questions as possible, but please wait till the end to ask questions. I promise I'll get to each and every one of your questions then. The only question I will answer is this being recorded? Yes, it is. We are being recorded right now. We're also on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please like us or subscribe. You'll see a lot more of these educational presentations by subscribing to us on YouTube. And remember, we will send each and every one of you a link to this recording so you can watch it at your own leisure, okay? All right, with that stated, let's begin. And we're going to start off by talking the strategy today that really is at the basis of this method, and that's strategy number 5. This is how you achieve supercharged candlestick trading through candlestick strategy number 5. Now, let me give you some of the highlights of this particular method. It's our premier candlestick strategy, okay? It's a non-traditional continuation method. In other words, it's a little bit different from the standard conventional wisdom way of trading candlesticks in that we're continuing with a somewhat of a little trend. Now, you can apply this to any time frame, any market, and any direction. Should you decide to become a student of mine in strategy number 5 course, we always require students to paper trade first. The reason is because you will have some losses from time to time. That's okay. In fact, I'm going to share with you a few losses in today's educational presentation. That's okay because our edge here is consistency. Consistency means there's an awareness that you will have losses from time to time, but a consistent method is one that's able to recoup those losses, oftentimes on the very next setup. You see, so many educators like to tout how much and how well their strategies or systems are doing, and they're just hitting home runs all the time. It's been my experience that usually when a method does that, it gives it all back just as easily. And you don't ever want to be trading that type of roller coaster in your P&L. What you want is this nice, steady upward trend in your profit and loss statement. And that's what consistency is. Strategy number 5 is extremely consistent. Now, let's look at this older chart in FOSL. Fossil, okay? Now, this is the basis of strategy number 5 and how it works. Now, conventional wisdom would tell us, okay, well, I'm a candlestick trader. Candlesticks basically are referenced as reversal patterns. So what we're looking for is some type of bottom so that we can reverse the trend. Let's say you go to that blog or that guy in that chat room and he says there's support right here, right? And on top of that, you see a candlestick pattern. This is a bullish engulfing pattern, which we'll be focusing on today because it's very popular and very easy to identify. Okay, so that's a positive sign. We've been going down. Conventional wisdom tells us that this is a big buy signal, okay? Because most likely we're going to bottom out, reverse, and the trend will go higher. So you jump in and you buy, and then this happens, right? This has been not only my experience, but the experience of a lot of traders. They say, well, I'm not getting the type of results I was promised with candlestick trading. So you ask yourself, what are we doing wrong? Well, firstly, look at the trend, okay? We are going against the trend. Now, I know we're looking for some type of reversal, which calls you to go against the trend, but it's been my experience that in any strategy, in any method, you'll have a high level of consistency if you are in sync with the trend, if you have the current at your back, if you're swimming with the current at your back, if you're sailing in the ocean with the wind behind you. It just stands to reason that anything, you'll do much better if you have the trend behind you. So following that premise, we really would not have bought here at all. Now, the way we find out the trend, the real sensitive trend, is by applying the PET D. This is part 2 in this scenario. Now, I've spoken about the PET D many times in the past, but for those of you who are not familiar, the PET D is an early trend detector. It's probably the best tool I've used in my 46 years for determining the short-term trend. This was something I was introduced to some 4 decades ago on the floor of the exchange. Now, at that time, we had to calculate it by hand using a hand calculator, and it was very cumbersome, and I wouldn't want you to go through that, especially if you're a day trader. So what we've done with Pro Trader Strategies and our programmers is that we have calculated it and made it into a color bar tool. So we've taken all of the hard work out of it for you, and we made it into an algorithm. So let's look at this older chart here in ADNA. Now, obviously, it's in an uptrend. But by most standards, by the time we get up to finding out that we're in an uptrend, let's say right here, it changes, right? So usually we're a day late and a dollar short. We want to find out down here that we're in an uptrend, and we want to find out somewhere around here that we're in a downtrend. So this is where the PET D, because it's so sensitive, comes in handy, because it's a sensitive color bar tool. Excuse me. Now, when you apply the PET D on our platform, you see that it will change the bars either green or red. Now, if you have anywhere from 3 to 5 consecutive green bars, that automatically tells you that the trend is up. And look what happened. So you would have known well in advance that the trend was up. And well before the market fell out of bed, you would have known well in advance that the trend had turned lower. So how are we going to use this with strategy number 5? Well, this is going to be the way in which we determine that we're truly in sync with the trend on the short-term basis. All right, so looking back at FOSL, remember there was a buy signal right here using conventional candlestick method, right? Let's apply the PET-D. On our platform, click it on here, the PET-D, and the colors automatically appear either green or red. Red for a downtrend, green for an uptrend. And look at the colors. Not only did we know here that the colors were red, we knew well up in advance up here that the colors had turned red. So we knew well in advance that this was in a downtrend. Remember, we only want to trade in sync with the trend. So we're not going to ever buy, regardless of what strategy it is, strategy 5 or one of yours or someone else's, you'll have a higher level of consistency if you are in sync with the trend. So therefore, we're not even going to consider buying anything. And you would have saved yourself a lot of money. Now, let's take that candle pattern again, bullish and bearish engulfing patterns. If we had applied that, well, guess what? Using strategy number 5, clicking on signal arrow, here is a bearish engulfing pattern right here. So you could have sold that. Why? Because it was in sync with the short-term trend. And look at the profit you would have had. Now, if you had missed that, guess what? There was another one right here. So you see, this is a new way to trade candlesticks. It goes against conventional wisdom, everything we've been taught as using candlesticks as trend reversals. You'll have a higher level of consistency. It's been my experience if you trade candlesticks in sync with the trend as opposed to out of sync with the trend. So we're sharing strategy number 5 and the PET-D directional tool in sync with each other. This is the new way to trade candlesticks. Now, when we combine these two techniques, we create what we call our candlestick combo. It's one of our most popular trading methods and programs we have at Specialist Trading. It provides us with a unique way to trade candlesticks using strategy number 5, and it increases that odds for consistency by applying the PET-D, by confirming it. Now let's look at some recent examples. Now that you know the process, let's look at some recent examples of this, okay? Remember, all the examples you're going to be seeing were generated using our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform that actually makes candlestick trading simple. Okay, here's a chart in ADP. This was just about a month or so ago. Now, obviously, the trend is up, right? Conventional candlestick trading would tell us that, well, we've got to look for a reversal pattern. We've got to look for some type of a sell because we don't want to buy with the trend. We want to go against it. But that is not the philosophy what we're teaching you today. So what we want to do is look for something that's in sync with the trend. Click on strategy number 5, click on signal arrow, and there's a strategy number 5 buy signal right there. Now, that has a high level of consistency, but if we want to ramp up the consistency even more, we apply the PET-D. So now that we have a buy signal, we just want to confirm it with the PET-D. So we click on the PET-D on the platform, and it will automatically change the colors. And right here it did. So now we see in that 2-bar pattern, the bars were colored green. So this is a valid candlestick combo signal. It's okay to take this signal. And look what happened coming into August. You could have generated a 17-point gain in just a couple of days. Now, how you decided to trade it is up to you. You could have taken, bought the stock. You could have purchased options or some type of option spread. It's up to you. Remember, our job as a mentor is not to tell you how to trade. We're not going to say you have to buy options. You have to buy this month, expiring then, or whatever. We don't believe in that. That's up to for you to come up with. Our job is to teach you how to identify these high probability areas, either going to the upside or going to the downside. How you decide to trade it is entirely up to you. All right, let's look at BIIB, all right? This was in July, once again, a couple of months ago. It was coming down lower, but it looks like it hit some type of a support right here, right? There's a hammer right there. It looks like it's going right back up. So you say to yourself, okay, well, that guy in that chat room says it hit a bottom, some type of support. That's where all the institutional banks are buying. So I guess I've got to buy. But on our platform, click on strategy number 5. Click on signal arrows, and we see that we have a sell signal. Now, this is a high probability signal, but in order to really ramp up the level of consistency, we want to confirm it with the PET-D. So we click on the PET-D, and in order for us to take the sell signal, that bar below has to be colored red. And yes, it is. In fact, all the bars were red, which is good, but all we need is the bar below that arrow. So that's a good sign, and look what happened. What happened to the support? What happened to that base right there, all the banks, okay? Could have potentially captured 20 points coming into last month, into August. And if you missed that signal, there were 2 more remaining at the end of July. Here's an example in MAR, Marriott, okay? Now, the stock has been going higher. Strategy number 5 generated a buy signal towards the highs of this little rally. Someone would say, but Steve, there's a bearish engulfing pattern right here. Look at this. This is a reversal pattern. And that guy in that chat room, that candlestick chat room I go to, says you got to sell this because, that's a really toppy example right there. And this should go lower. Well, let's see what the market is telling us, all right? Not what some guy in a chat room is saying. If we apply the PET-D, which is basically a translator for what the market wants to do, it's telling us that all the bars are green, meaning that the short-term trend is up. Remember, as I stated earlier, we never want to go against the trend. We always want to have the current at our back. We want to swim downstream. So we're not going to sell. We would not sell this. And it would have been a wise idea because MAR went up 18 points coming into the middle of last month. All right, we have 2 sell signals in ILMN. Here's what we mean by consistency, all right? Because remember, consistency, I know a lot of traders think, well, if something's consistent, that means it's always generating winners, right? No, that's not what consistency means. Consistency is an awareness that you will have losses from time to time. But that's okay because a consistent method is one that's able to recoup those losses. So we have 2 sell signals here, all right? Now, the first one seems to be working okay, but we don't really know if the second one is going to be working, and it really hasn't gone down that much. So let's confirm it with the PET-D. We apply the PET-D, and we see that we should not have taken the first sell signal. Even though it did go down, we should not have taken that because it wasn't confirmed. So there was no trade there. But look what happened. The second one was confirmed, and this one we could have taken for a 25-point potential gain, okay? This is how the PET-D really filters out trades that may have worked, but you want the best ones, and that's what PET-D does. All right, here's an example in Intuit. All right, a buy signal was generated just a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago in Intuit. A buy signal was generated here. It was green by the PET-D, colored green. 20 points coming into last week. Okay. And another signal was generated along the way. You see how this goes against everything we've been taught on how to trade candlesticks? This market has been headed higher, and we're trading in sync with the trend, with the PET-D. We're not trying to go against it. Here's an example in Moderna. You could just say, listen, Steve, I was always taught not to trade markets like this. It's going sideways. It's kind of a whipsaw market. Every time I buy, it goes down. Every time I sell, it goes back up. It's directionless. We should probably stay away from this, right? Well, it may appear directionless, but strategy number 5 generated a sell signal right here, okay? And on top of that, once we apply the PET-D, it was confirmed because the bar below the red arrow was also colored red by the PET-D. That's all we need. And look what happened. 27 points coming into mid-August last month. Now, here's an example in ISRG. Now, this is really a great example of consistency, all right? We've been going obviously straight up, right? If you had tried to sell all along the way it's going up, you wouldn't have made that much money. You would have had to be quick and get out. You would have had a lot better time just going in sync with the trend, all right? So let's see what happened here. We see that we click on strategy number 5, click on signal arrow, and we had 2 buys. We had one here and one here, okay? All right, now we confirm it with the PET-D, and we see that, yes, both signals are confirmed with the PET-D. Now, had you taken the very first one, well, you could have potentially captured 40 points. Now, let's say we're not saying you made 40 points, but you had 40 points to work with. Let's say you were conservative and made only 10 points, okay? And now you have another signal here and you want to take this one. So you take it, it's confirmed, and look what happens. All right, so you lost 10 points, okay? That using one of our basic stop placements that we teach you in the course, you would have lost roughly about 10 points. But most traders at this point would say, hey, sure, I made some money on the first one, but then I lost a little on the next one. Wow, this is not the way I figured. Well, remember, you always have to get back on the horse, because if you click on strategy number 5 again, 2 more sell signals are generated. So now the market is telling you, along with the pet D, that we've reversed. We now want to go lower. And look what happened. Had you taken those signals, you could have potentially captured 35 points. So altogether, you could have potentially captured 65 points. That's what the loss. And this is what we mean by being consistent. Even though you may have losses from time to time, oftentimes you're able to recoup it right on the very next signal. All right, here we have a straight downtrend. Looking back in hindsight, sure, it was in downtrend. And if you're saying, okay, Steve, yeah, you're supposed to trade in sync with the trend, but how did I know it was in a downtrend here? Well, we click on strategy 5, signal arrows. We see that we had a sell signal up here. We had lots of them. But in order to make sure that it was a high probability sell signal, we click on the pet D. And right here, we already knew before it fell out of bed and gapped lower that the bar was colored red. That's how sensitive the pet D is, and that's how much it can help you by confirming the strategy number 5 signal. So had you taken the signal and held on to it coming into September, you could have potentially captured 45 points coming into this last week. And if you missed the first one, there were lots of signals along the way. Now, we can apply this to different markets and different time frames. I know not everyone just trades stocks. You trade other markets, other time frames. Let's look at this older chart in the euro yen. Here's a 1 hour chart. We have 3 signals, 2 sells and 1 buy. Which ones should we take? Well, this is where the pet D comes in handy. Once you apply the pet D, it will confirm whether we should be going long or short. Now, in order to sell, both of these bars need to be colored red. And what color are they? They're green. So we're not going to sell at all. Now, in order to buy, this bar needs to be colored green or outlined green. Excuse me. What color is it? It's outlined green. So it's okay to take the buy signal. And then in the next 2 days, you could have potentially captured 180 pips. And there was another signal along the way if you happen to miss that one. See how easy it is to trade candlesticks if you are in sync with the trend. Let's look at this older chart in the QQQs. That's the ETF that represents the NASDAQ 100. Obviously, it's been going lower. If we apply strategy 5, we have some nice sell signals, but in order to confirm them, we applied the pet D and we had red bars all along the way. Now, it was the 95 points with the QQQs, but that transferred over into nearly 6,000 Dow Jones points to the downside. Here's an older chart, a 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was surging, a lot of our students were applying strategy number 5 because it had such strong trends to the upside and downside. Here were the strategy number 5 signals. And once you applied the pet D, look at all the confirmation here. 4,700 points in just 8 days. You can even apply this to commodities like gold. Here's gold index. Once again, a buy signal confirmed. It's colored or outlined green. Took a little while for this to kick in, but look, eventually gold took off to the upside. So it really makes no difference what market or what time frame. All you want to do is make sure you have a strategy number 5 signal generated and that it is confirmed with the pet D. Okay, so let's recap. Only buy or sell strategy 5 signals that are in sync with the trend, or in other words, with the pet D. You will increase your odds for consistency tremendously if you trade this new way to trade candlesticks. So ask yourself, do you think these 2 methods can help your trading for the remainder of 2023? We have a great discount for you today to finish out 2023 strong using our candlestick combo. Here's today's special discount. It's our candlestick combo special. You're going to get instant course access to strategy number 5. You'll also get access to the PET D color bar tool, detailed video instruction. Now, I only highlighted where the setups were today because we have thousands of students around the world who are candlestick combo students. It wouldn't be fair to tell you exactly where the entries were and all the exits were and all the stops, but you'll get all that information within the course. You'll get the entire course rules. Now, along with the PET D tool, you'll also get 4 separate PET D trading techniques that don't even apply strategy number 5. They work on their own. So these are almost like extra little techniques to trade just by using the PET D, okay? This includes both add-ons, but let's say you don't want to add these on to your platform. It's a lot easier to use the PTS Primo charting platform because remember, everything you saw here was one click away. Now, a full year of our platform usually runs close to $1,800. Here's what we're going to do today. If you decide to become a member of the strategy number 5 course, we're going to discount that and throw in a full year absolutely free. With one-click access, you'll be able to get all of the strategy number 5 signals, the up and down arrows, and with one-click access, you'll be able to get all of the PET D colors, in other words, green or red, just with one click. You won't find that in any other platform. It won't be that simple. So you'll get strategy 5, the PET D directional tool, and on top of that, you'll get a host of different things that I've accumulated in my 46 years of trading. Most of these things are taken from my years on the floor. I was on the trading floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange for 16 years. Most of these things, these techniques and methods, you won't find anywhere else, like the proprietary buy-sell line, automatic exit levels, strength of trend tool. You'll also get a signal scanner where you can scan for these setups. Now, if you're still not convinced at how much we're throwing in here, let me share with you some things that just happened within the last couple of weeks. SGEN generated a strategy number 5 signal right here. This was on the 14th of August. What color was the PET D on that particular day? It was coloring it green. Remember, in order for this to be a valid candlestick combo trade, the bar below the arrow needs to be red. So our students did not take that trade. And for the next week, a lot of people would have said, hey, wow, I would have been going in the right direction, not a big profit, but at least I wouldn't have lost anything. Yes, but most traders would have held on, and look what happened just about 5 days later. So it could have eventually turned into a really great loss, and that's why the PET D sometimes it takes a little bit to kick in, but really could have helped you. Let's look at another example here in IDXX, okay? This was in mid to end of August, and we had 2 buy signals. Which one should we take? I'm sorry, 2 signals, 1 buy and 1 sell. Which one should we take? Well, that's where the PET D comes in handy. In order for us to take this buy signal, the bar above it needs to be colored or outlined green. So which color is it? It's red. So we didn't take that signal. Now, in order to take the sell signal, the bar below it needs to be colored or outlined red. And it did. So it's a valid candlestick combo sell signal. And look what happened. 20 points in 3 days that you could have potentially captured, either using candles, options, or actually shorting the stock. It's up to you. Let's look at Meta, okay? This was in mid-August once again. A buy signal was generated, okay? This is conventional wisdom of trading candlestick patterns. Your trend is going lower. You have a candlestick pattern right here, a buy signal, okay? But what is the color of the bar above the arrow? It's red. Remember, we want this to be green. So we didn't take that signal, and you could have saved yourself a lot of money because you had the candlestick combo. Lastly, looking at 3 signals here in Tesla. Tesla's kind of been going sideways coming into August. We had 2 buy signals and 1 sell signal. All right. In order for us to take these buy signals, they need to be colored or outlined green. In order for us to take the sell signals, they need to be colored or outlined red. Well, both of these buy signals were colored red. So we didn't take them. And we didn't lose any money, but we took the sell signal, 30 points in the next week coming into September. So these were all things that happened within the last month that could have helped you just trading with the candlestick combo. A year from today, I truly believe you will have wished you became a member of the Candlestick Combo course. Take your trading to the next level. Invest in yourself. We're getting close to the end of the year. Finish out strong with this unique package. and with this new way of trading candlesticks. All right, so let's break it down. Here's the candlestick combo special. Normally, just trading, or I should say, buying these separately, it would cost you over $5,000. Strategy number 5 with the Pet D. We're going to slash that today down to only $29.95. You're going to save nearly $2,500. Now you can purchase that for a one-time fee of $29.95, or you can have the super discount for a one-time fee of $497, less than $500, and just establish a payment plan of $97 per month. Okay. Either way, you're going to get a full year free of the platform. So if you decide to pay in full, $29.95, remember you're saving nearly 50%, nearly $2,500, or for a small percentage of that, just $497 and a $97 per month, you can be up and running as early as today. And remember, that includes 12 months free of the platform. I don't think you'll get a better deal than that anywhere, regardless of what webinar you're attending. Here's how to take advantage of this. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. They're my sister site. They are in charge of all the discounts. They're in charge of all the pricing, as well as all the tech support. They have trading consultants manning the phones right now. They would be more than happy to take your order or establish a payment plan or just answer any questions that you may have. They're there to work with you. There's no obligation at all. I would highly recommend giving them a call at 310-598-6677. Now, that link you see at the very bottom will take you to the info as well as sign up page. And we've just posted that live link on the chat box, because this link you see in front of you is not live. But if you go to the chat box, there's a live link right there. So this is really simple. And as I stated, we will reserve all the questions for the end. And if you have any questions, now's the time. Either go to the chat box or go to your question and answer box, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Okay. I see we have a question here. Let me just find it really quickly. What else need to trade, like a scanner? Well, yes, a scanner is included. You have a scanner, that's included with the platform. That's one of the great things about this. You're getting a free platform for a year, which includes a scanner. You can scan on a nightly basis, okay? So there's no charge extra for the scanner. That comes free with the free use of the platform, okay? Okay, let's see. Someone is asking, oh, this is great. After 12 months, what is the price for that? I'm not really sure. That's something, since Pro Trader Strategies is in charge of all the pricing, that's something to ask them. But since you would have been already a student and already a member, they most likely would give you a great discount or a great deal because you're someone who's already been a customer of ours, okay? Let's see. Let me see. Someone can we get a trial before we buy? No, because the only way, it wouldn't be possible to get you a trial because you would learn all the rules. We used to give trials in the beginning, 15 years ago when we started, and we gave everyone the rules with good faith. And then 2 weeks later, they'd say, no, I want my money back. But meanwhile, they knew all the rules to the strategy. So it's not really fair. So what we want to do is just basically, if you're unsatisfied at the end of a couple of weeks, you can always exchange strategy number 5 for another one of our products. We have other strategies. We have upwards of 7 or 8 different strategies that you can decide to exchange for. But I think you'll be very happy. We don't get a lot of I should say people wanting refunds, and we don't get a lot of people wanting their money back. Most traders really like what they've gotten, and it's all about education, because we're really educating you. We're not here to sell you a product and say goodbye. We're with you the entire time. That's another thing I didn't mention. Everyone gets my personal email address. You can contact me whenever you'd like. Let me see. We have some more questions and answers here. Can you use this for day trading the E-mini? Yes, you sure can. In fact, that's what I have used it for. I day trade the E-mini futures, and yes, strategy number 5 will work great. You know, when you get these really nice trends in the E-mini futures, like when the market's going straight up or straight down, let's say on a 5-minute chart, you will see a lot of these signals, and they really work really well in any market, but you'll see them if you're an intraday trader. And if you intraday trade stocks or a forex charts, all right? Doesn't matter. We have a lot of currency pair traders who trade this, all right? Will this strategy work if the PET D indicates the short-term trend is uptrend, when a buy-sell line indicates long-term downtrend. Well, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but for a lot of traders don't understand, but in other words, an overall trend, if a person is asking, if the overall trend is down, will it generate a signal to buy, even if the PET D confirms it? Yes, at times it will, but remember, it's up to you. Actually, strategy number 5, I believe, won't be generating. You can see candlestick patterns, but strategy number 5 will not be generating a signal if it's below a buy signal, if it's below the 50-period moving average. Strategy number 5 is in sync. One of the rules of the strategy number 5, which I will give away, is it can only trade in sync with the 50-period moving average. So therefore, you won't get a buy signal below the 50-period moving average with strategy number 5, okay? So therefore, you can still use the PAT D to trade candlestick patterns, but strategy number 5 will not generate one. What is this platform? I use Thinkorswim. How do I combine both? Well, that's a good question for Pro Trader Strategies, because you can use the platform. Everything you saw today was our platform. Everything you saw today was coming from the PTS Primo charting platform. Now, it's an educational platform where you can get our signals, and then you can just go and toggle on to Thinkorswim, and then you can actually just enter your orders through that way. But there's also different ways to actually trade through them, and those would be better answered by calling Pro Trader Strategies, okay? Yeah, someone's asking, does your platform replace my Thinkorswim for trading on Ameritrade, and are my trade orders placed on your platform, or do they enter them separately on TOS? No, we don't enter orders on our platform. We're still considering that, but we haven't got to that far yet. Most of our students who do use Thinkorswim, we do have a lot of Thinkorswim students. What they do is they just toggle back and forth. That's what I do when I trade. Okay, I just toggle back and forth to the entry platform, and then I toggle back to look for setups and signals. But it's really simple, and there are a lot of ways to apply it really simply with Ameritrade. And once again, as I stated, that is something that Pro Trader Strategies can answer really easily, because as I stated, they're in charge of all the tech support and all the data issues. And my job is more of a teaching and training issue, so they can answer that for you. But it's extremely simple. We haven't had any really negative feedback on it yet. We have a number of Thinkorswim students as well. We have a great tech support department, and they can set you up really quickly. And you can, like I said, you can be up and running as early as today. Any other questions while you have me here? Remember, there's absolutely no obligation. Give the good people at Pro Trader Strategies a call. They would be more than happy to answer questions with no obligation. If you don't know if you are ready to purchase Strategy 5 yet, that's okay. Just ask them questions and think about it. The only other question I can ask is, or I can answer, is that they're saying we need to buy the data also. No, that's something that is included. But once again, contact Pro Trader Strategies. They can answer all the questions about data and tech support. But the only other thing I can say is that, Pro Trader Strategies is there to work with you, and you can ask them questions, and you can, think about it and sit on it for a while, where you are under no obligation to buy it today. But please remember that this offer will most likely be gone a week from now, just because we will be doing another free presentation next week. And next week, we'll be talking about an entirely new strategy, something different cost packages, maybe with, maybe without the platform. So this is something entirely different. Maybe it may fit your style of trading. Maybe it may go against your style of trading. So if you're interested in this, contact Pro Trader Strategies. They can answer your questions about data, about tech support, about different platforms, Thinkorswim, NinjaTrader, things of that nature. And you can think about it, but just don't sit on it for too long, because once again, that price and that discount may go away, and it may be up to over $5,000 if you wait a couple of weeks, okay? Okay, it looks like we're out of questions. They were good questions. And I just want to go to our disclaimer one last time. I just want to thank you so much. Strategy number 5 is a great candlestick combo with the PET D, because strategy 5 works really well, but it kicks it up a notch once you apply the PET D, and you really have this new way of trading candlesticks. So take your trading to the next level come on board with the Candlestick Combo course. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. Remember, there's no obligation. Ask them any question you like. As we close, I just want to say thank you so much for attending today. Thanks for taking time out of your day to come and hear me speak. I really wish you all the best of luck and look forward to seeing you in the Candlestick Combo course. Thank you so much. Have a great trading day. I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.